Transforming your relationship. Again, I'm Bonitto Grange, your relationship and life coach. We're here to talk about creating acts of intimacy again. And we have our guest with us again, Heather Pietnik. She's a relationship repair coach. She works with wives and to help them have an amazing relationship and have an amazing marriage. So thank you again, Heather, for being with us again today.
For sure.
Yeah. So last time, Heather, we talked about a little bit. This is part two, by the way, of creating acts of intimacy. We talked about filling your cup and what that looked like. Filling your cup could be different for different individuals. How you fill your cup. What is it? What does it look like for you to fill your cup? So we touched that a little bit, and also we talked about respect him and love her. So when we say respect him, yeah, what does respect look like to him? And if you're not even sure, you can even ask your husband, what is how do
Hmm.
I respect you, or how do I disrespect you so I can respect you more? And also when it comes to love, not only does a wife needs to be loved, but she needs to be loved and also emotionally connected where she really
Hmm.
feel that love. So I had the last time we talked about, we were going to ask our spouse, what is our dinner and walk? You want to explain again to the audience, what is our dinner and walk?
Sure. When as couples we all have things, or as individuals, we all have things within our relationship that really we treasure. It's this certain activity you do or time spent with them that really fills your cup as a partner, and helps you feel, or as partners, it helps you feel connected to each other, and gives that intimacy. And some couples, it's simple things. Some it's a little bit more. And so we said last time, we would ask our partners what theirs were with us. And I felt very vulnerable doing this because I had a lot of fear around asking my husband, because I was afraid he was going to ask me. Well, what we call this, sorry, just to go back for a second, what we call this is dinner and a walk. So what is
Dinner and walk.
dinner and walk is something that somebody feels like that is their thing that really fills their cup. So we're calling it, what's your dinner and a walk?
Right.
And so for me, mine is snuggling up and watching a movie
Hmm.
with my hubby in the evenings, and we do that as often as we can. And we'll order some food often first, and then go down and watch a movie. And so I knew what mine was. It took me a little bit to look at myself and say, what is mine? What do I treasure doing that with my husband?
Yeah.
And then
What
I
is
just asked my husband about it. But I was afraid. I didn't ask all week. I've been waiting because I think, what if it's something I really don't enjoy that much, or that's hard for me, or going to take a lot of time? And so I was afraid he was going to say, "Oh, I like it when you stand right beside me when I do all my projects around the house and around the yard." And that was it could have happened, but thank you God
Mm,
it did not. So
okay.
his was actually the same as mine, very same. With order food in and watch a fun movie together. Get some laughs. We get to stop the movie, chat a little, talk about
Okay.
what's going on, have some
Hmm.
giggles, and then carry on. So that we're both the same. So I was very relieved and super happy that that's what he treasures with me, and that's what I treasure with him.
It's interesting. So you were basically telling yourself a story of what the dinner and walk would be and building up a little bit of anxiety there, hoping it wouldn't be this, right? But
Yes, yes,
I wonder how many times that happened for an individual in a relationship also when you want to ask that question, but you're afraid to ask that question. But
yeah.
but how much more engaging is it now and fulfilling it is like now
Oh,
that you actually know, you're not guessing like so with me, like in the past, and I've said this before on our shows, my thing I thought my wife would love. I love to cook. I will clean out. Yeah. I'm the perfect husband in the house, right?
of course you are. Of course you are. I vouch for that.
I'm the perfect husband in the house. But again, yeah, that's I love that, but that's not really what I want. So anyway, we did have a challenge out. What is your dinner and walk with your husband? And I asked my wife, and she said, as I thought was just having a movie together and just sitting down, which is a part of it. But she just said, spending time together. So it's okay, spending time together. So what does that look like when you say spend time together? Is it X, Y, Z? No, just spending time together. So our dinner and walk actually last night, without even thinking about it, was we want to do some landscaping here at the yard here. But what we did, we end up just driving around different areas in our community here and look at different landscaping to just maybe get some ideas. And to her, her cup was being filled.
Nice.
The cup was being filled, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same with myself also. It's just spending that time together, going on vacation together. Just so
Yes.
yeah. So now I'm on the same page, and I don't have to kind of guess and wonder. Okay, is this it? Was I doing this right? Now, don't get me wrong. She still likes me to cook for her because
Of
she
course she
works night
does.
tired. So I don't expect her to stop work to finish work and then prepare a meal and do all this everything else, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's still appreciated, but at the same time spending time together. And I wonder out there, the question is for those out there, what is, again, like Heather have said just a minute ago, so what is your dinner and walk? What is it that fills your cup? And what
Yeah.
is it that fills your husband cup? So just break down those defense walls that you might have up and just ask him.
Mhm.
Come out and tell you exactly. But you don't have to cringe and you don't have to tell yourself stories and then have a whole bunch of anxiety that's creeping around. But yeah, just ask him.
Exactly.
I
And
guarantee.
I like what you said there, Benito, too, is don't assume you already know. You're
Yeah.
doing something, you're giving some sort of not
Mhm.
you're already planning things, or you've been doing something the same for a lot of years and assuming,
Right.
oh, that's, I'm sure that's what he would say is the answer. Because I've had a
Hmm.
few friends do this little exercise with their partners, and they've been shocked. They're like, what? I thought it was this, and I've been working hard on this and thinking I was sacrificing that. And
Right.
it's something completely different. So it's just
Mhm.
good to know for sure. Don't assume. Don't assume anything.
Don't assume because you know what happened when we assume, right? You know the acronym.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yes, I do.
So yeah, so this is part two for those that's just tuning in. We're talking about creating acts of intimacy, part two. So Heather, what I want to start off with, how about starting off with thank you? What is,
Oh, yeah.
let's talk
Thank you.
about
Thank you
what
is a
is,
big one. Thank you is a big one. It's a big one in my marriage.
yeah.
My sweetheart and I have come a long way with this. Thank you is basically when you get a gift from your partner,
Mm-hmm.
you just simply say thank you. If it's ugly, if it's the wrong color, if it's the wrong
Mm-hmm.
size,
Mm-hmm.
instead of, in the past, I would have said a whole lot about it, like, well, why would you pick this? Or what were you thinking of? When was the last time I was a size 2? Or whatever it might be. I
Right.
now just simply zip it and just say thank you. Thank you for the
Okay.
lovely gift. Appreciate
Mm-hmm.
you, or appreciate what you did. And it just makes all the difference. And my husband and I took it one step further. We heard it something on a marriage course years ago, 25 years ago. And he
Okay.
really likes this. And we did it quite a bit early in the marriage, but when he would buy something new, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a lawnmower, and I'm thinking, why, why did you get that? Did we really need that? And can we just use the old one? And
Mm-hmm.
the question I have to ask him with whatever he's purchased is, what kind of features does it have, honey? That's all he wants to hear. So he can describe everything about it and why he got it and how
Okay.
special. So I remember buying these two dusty rose colored chairs for our living room when he was out of town for a weekend. Great price, like they were almost free. And I put them in the room, and I told him about it over the phone, and he's like, and I could just hear him just choking it back, just like wanting to say, pink, really, Heather, pink? But he didn't. All he said was, what kind of features do they have, honey? And we both burst out laughing because neither one of us, it's just a fun thing to do. And it's what the other
Mm-hmm.
person really wants to be asked. They want to explain it. They want to celebrate what they've gotten and picked up
Right.
and blessed you with.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's one step further, is asking, what kind of features does it have? What kind of features does that size 2 top have for you? Um, yeah, and the other one is when you don't accept it with thankfulness,
Mm-hmm.
is that you reject them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you reject the gift, then you're rejecting the giver too. They go hand in hand, and it
That.
it, it cuts deeply. And I had a reputation in my family, with my kids and with my husband, of returning things. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, I got you this, Mom, but it's okay if you return it, or I'm sure you're going to return it. And it was like, oh, I just hated having that reputation. Instead of just thankfully saying, I love it, or thank you.
So rejecting the gift, would that be under the act of, say, being disrespectful, for lack of better words here?
I don't know. I guess
That
it'd
shows
be
up,
up there for sure.
shows
I don't
up
know
as
if
being.
yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just not being, it doesn't foster, like, if I want my husband to get me things or buy me things or think of me in his travels in a day or away, then I have to encourage it by knowing he's going to come home and I'm going to be thankful for it. If he's
Mm,
like, oh, she won't like it anyway, or
right.
then he's going to shut it down. So I lose. I'm the one who hurts the relationship for myself, in that I don't get spoiled. I don't get thought of. I don't get
Mhm.
spoiled. Yeah, spoiled, I guess is what I'm saying. And I think that if I'm not happy with what I'm getting on a regular basis, like it's kind of like, well, all this money's going out for this and that.
Right. Hmm.
Um, I can share my desires on other days. Like, you know what? I really love pink flowers, or I really love my size 10 jeans that I'm in right now, or whatever. Like, you can say things of
Hmm.
what you like and love, that
Hmm.
they're like, oh, okay. And it might give them some tips for the next gift they want to get you, that you're going to receive very
Hmm.
thankfully.
Where I find it would be challenging. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
As you were speaking there, so I said, what would be challenging to say the thank you, or of one person saying thank you when they receive a gift? I think the challenge would come in, and a little bit of concern or frustration when the couple both know they're on a budget, for an example, and
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and now you've just blown the budget. But
I
if
know.
we're not careful, we look more on keeping or staying on the budget more than the uh, heartfelt desire that they had towards you. Like they basically unconsciously they possibly be saying, I know we're on a budget, but I think you're important,
Yeah.
whether whether we're on a budget or not.
Yes. I
No,
like
it's not
that.
like they're going to totally blow it, but so when it comes to saying thank you, yeah, it was challenging for me here some time back. And we had a session here some time back with myself and yourself on something that we're talking about here today. And one couple realized that when the husband was giving her a gift, she thought it might, and she thought it was a bit expensive, and almost a type of rejection. I'm accepting it, but like, you spent all this money. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he feels that you're that important that he spent it with you, right?
Yeah.
And another thing that we have a challenge with saying thank you is, for an example, I brought some children out here sometime in the summertime. We took about 3 or 4 of them to the park, and I stopped to pick up one, and the mother gave me $20 for gas. Now, my mother
Mm,
taught me is some time back. Whatever anybody gives you, when somebody gives you something, obviously the Lord laid it on the heart to give it to you.
hmm.
So, and again, like we talk about disrespect, so you're kind of like disrespecting them by refusing what they're giving you, because they
Yeah.
have that heartfelt love they have that love or that heart to actually do that, right?
Hmm.
And by us rejecting sometime, we're dismissing their blessing that they could get out of what they're given, right? So,
Hmm.
did I need the $20 that she was giving me to buy food for them because I already had a plan? Absolutely not. But you
Yeah.
know what I said? I said, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
that was hard. That was hard for me to say that, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to practice to say when somebody's giving me something, it's obviously laid up on their heart to give it to me, or yourself.
Yeah.
So it's just to say, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, rather
Absolutely.
than
I,
reject it.
I totally agree. Another thing that comes up for the respect thing, as you said, Benito, is that with their husband, like you said, that story about, gee, that was so expensive.
Hmm.
So if we were to say, or if she was to say, oh,
Okay.
well, thank you, but this is too much. This is too expensive. We can't afford this.
Hmm.
Now we're getting into the inching into the disrespect place of,
Mm.
you're not respecting his judgment
Right.
of the budget, and his
Okay.
judgment on what you can afford, and his decision making. So
Hmm.
trusting him that he'll figure out the finances around it,
Right.
and believing in him
Hmm.
in that decision he's made too, and just accepting that decision instead of
Right.
making the comment. But I'm not saying that's easy, ladies. I mean, that duct tape, or that, like, zipping it is really takes hard work, and all marriage is hard work. This is all hard work. We're giving you tips today on ideas and suggestions and
Mhm.
understanding of how to create more intimacy in our marriages, in our
Right.
relationships. And it all takes hard work.
Mhm.
Marriage is hard. I hear it on a regular basis. So does Benito. This is too
Mhm.
hard. This is really hard.
Right.
And I say it some days too. It's hard work. And
Mhm.
so these tips are here to support you, to help you, and to hopefully serve you in working smarter, not harder, in your
Right.
marriages.
And to help you move to having an amazing marriage, because that's the whole
Yeah.
idea. We want to have a great marriage. We all want to live that happily ever after, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing all those. So yeah, so thank you is it can be challenging to some if you're not used to it. But
Mhm.
again, look at the heartfelt desire that the individual have when they come to give you a gift, right?
Yes.
All right. So how about yeah, how about this control thing? To give
Oh, it's
up
a tough one.
control as a man, like you know how hard that is, give up I
Oh,
mean, and or give up as a control as a wife. You want to speak a little bit about this control business that goes on in a
oh
relationship.
my. This is my biggest battle, but it's my biggest idol. It's my biggest battle of controlling everything. Controlling uh my husband, my kids, other people who I hardly know. I mean, I just got suggestions and helpful hints for everyone.
Yeah, that's what we
And
do.
it's just that's what that's what I feel like I'm doing, but it's not how that gets heard often.
Hmm.
And control for me, or for most of us, is usually fear based, in that
And why is that?
I'm fearful that
Hmm.
it won't be done my way. I'm fearful that if
Okay.
I don't control how the counters get wiped, maybe,
Okay.
then it's not going to be done the way I think they should be done. So that's
Hmm.
just being honest. It is a control thing of, I think I know what's best and I need to help everybody get there so they enjoy my way. And
So would you be able to say that control is trying to get everybody else on my page?
yeah, or me jumping on their page. That's a great lead in. Yes. Or it's me
Okay.
jumping on their page to manage their stuff. I can say
Okay.
to my husband, hey, have you made that dentist appointment yet for yourself?
Okay.
Or when are you going to get your hair cut?
Mm.
Or I thought you were going to cut the lawn last week. Why are you doing it this week? That's not on my page. I don't cut the lawn, so it's not on my page. I need to stay on my page, or as my son says, stay in my lane.
Okay.
My kids are grown. My boys are grown, and I've had to work really hard this last few years to stay off their page, stay out of their
Mhm.
lane. And I've got lots of advice and lots of wisdom, and if they're asking for it, then that's great. But if they're not asking, I'm not
Mhm.
allowed to be jumping on their page. I try to sneak in the side, the back door sometimes,
Okay.
but they see me. They see me every time, and my husband does too. And so I had to change my view to realize I have my own page or my own
Mm.
lane that I can stay in, and there's lots on there to manage. I don't have to jump on everybody else's. Just enjoy my own and make mine own great. I don't have to manage everybody else's. But I
Mhm.
it's been a big learning curve for me. But I have to tell you, my youngest son still lives with us,
Okay.
and the other day, he said, "Mom, I've really noticed you've been working really hard. I see you working hard to stay in your own lane, and you have not been jumping in mine hardly at all." He said, "I do see you put your ticker on once in a while, but I see you self-correct and just stay back in
Wow.
your own lane. And I
Okay.
can see the temptation, and then you cool it and you get back in your own lane." But I really
Mhm.
appreciate that, Mom. It makes a big difference, or I appreciate it. So that was cool to hear that
Mm.
it's being noticed and appreciated.
So how do we what's wrong with a gentle reminder though, Heather? Like, we are humans, we're creatures, and sometimes we forget. I mean, is there anything wrong with what's a gentle reminder? Although you're not trying to control or get on their page, but what would be a gentle reminder that you would suggest, you think?
Oh, Bolino, I don't think there is one. I think you're
Yes.
either on it or you're not. And I think that well,
No reminder.
if I'm tempted to give a gentle reminder, I'm still just trying to sneak in the back door or put my ticker on. And I people if I well, I'll give you an example of my son. He's just started in his career and he's making his
Okay.
first big paychecks that are, he's
Mhm.
big to him. He's never made that kind of money before. He's always been a starving student. And
Right.
so he told me that, he shared it. My mom, guess what? I got my paycheck. And I said, excellent. That's awesome. Way to go, bud. I'm, proud of you. And I
Mhm.
celebrated for a couple of minutes, but then I didn't stop there. I didn't stay on my own page. I still
Okay.
jumped on his and said, so remember, you've got to make sure you take that 30% and put it in the bank for your income tax stuff, because
Mm.
it's the type of
Okay.
job he does.
Yeah.
Get to. And so, and I didn't think much of it. I thought I was being helpful again. And I
Yeah.
was, but he's 25. He doesn't need me to be that helpful for him. Unless he asked me, "Hey mom, what should I do with, how do I do this?" Then I can answer. But he shared with me weeks later, he said, "I really enjoyed giving the news to dad. All he did was celebrate with me about my paycheck." He said, "You
Okay.
celebrated for a few minutes, mom, and then you stepped in with directions and help."
Oh,
And he goes,
Okay.
it really crushed what I really wanted from you, or what I
Is
wanted to
that right?
experience with you. And I was
Wow.
devastated. It was like stabbing, but I'm really glad he mentioned it, because I didn't see
Hmm.
that. I didn't see myself get in his lane. I could have just stopped at the congratulations and trust him
Hmm.
to do what he's been taught, and he's smart, and he's got the other stuff figured out. I don't have to help.
So you're being more, I guess individual help us to be more self-aware. That's basically
Yeah,
the
that's
key.
right.
That comes
Yeah,
up in a lot of conversations, a lot of relationship. If we're not self-aware, well, I'll jump on your page, right?
yeah,
And I'm the same way too. I mean, I've had this question too with my children here some time past. And now that you mention it, yeah, I totally jumped on you. But then I figured, well, I'm doing a good thing. Maybe they don't teach finance in school, so maybe daddy can help them out. I mean, how else would they know? Like if you put away 10% from now until you're 50 or whatever the case is, can you imagine how much money you would have?
I
So
know.
I was thinking there might be a gentle way to guide. I've always said so we train them from 0 to 18.
Yeah,
That's what we do. But if we're not careful, we continue to train them from 18 until they're 50 or 60, right? Uh,
exactly.
which is, and I've always said this before, like after 18, we're there now to guide, but it's how to guide and not to be controlling.
Yes, exactly. And same with our partners. Like, I mean, we're guiding our children, but we're I don't know, just encouraging our partners,
Hmm.
or just trusting our partners to manage their own page. I don't,
Hmm.
I really need to trust my husband more, that he's got it managed. Unless he asks for my help, he doesn't
Hmm.
need my help. And my help isn't heard as help, it's heard as criticism. When I
Hmm.
when I jump in there to help and direct and suggest, he often hears it as criticism. I don't know how that
Hmm.
goes for you. I'm sure Karen's perfect at this and doesn't jump on your page, Benito. But if she
Hmm.
ever did, then I'm not sure how you hear it.
So talk about control. Again, what comes to my mind is a person that's been brought up in a certain home, and you've always been controlled from the time you're, I don't know, 8, 10. Maybe you've been in a foster home or whatever. You might
Mm,
have been a foster child, whatever the case is, or a stepchild or biological individual. But at the same time, you've been controlled to the time you're 18, and you get out now and you get married, and now because you were always controlled, now you're in a relationship, you feel now that you now have to be in control because you were always
mm,
out of control. So you know
right.
what advice or suggestion could we give someone that has that mindset and probably don't even know that they're doing it, but it's just
Yeah.
because they've been living this in this bubble for so long. Now they're out of it. Now it's time for me to control a few things. Now it's time for me
Yeah.
to tell her what to do. It's time for me to tell him what to do, whatever the case might be, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I would say that those partners have a harder go. But
Right.
as you and I both know, and most of us know, the only person we can control is ourselves. When
Hmm.
we think we can actually control and change someone else, we're going down the wrong road fast, and
Mm.
it's a bumpy road. And so, if we want to focus control because we haven't had it and we've been controlled in growing up,
Right.
then the place to focus on control is controlling yourself,
Hmm.
controlling your walk with God, controlling your like getting to know Him better, controlling your own decisions, controlling
Hmm.
what you do for yourself, your self care, you're filling up your cup, that
Right.
kind of thing. Is if you're going to focus, it has to be, or so if you're going to control, it has to be controlling you, controlling
Mm.
what you say, when you say it, how you show up in the world with
Right.
everybody. But
Right.
you have to work hard to to not shift that control to onto other people. For sure,
Hmm.
your partner, it hurts the relationship too. It costs you too much. It
Yeah.
costs you the intimacy we're talking about.
At the
Every
end of
time we
the
slip away from these tips, these kind of guidelines and
right.
ideas here, it costs
Hmm.
you intimacy every single time.
Hmm.
When I don't respect my husband, when I say something that's disrespectful and
Right.
judge him or criticize him, it
Hmm.
costs me intimacy. There's a wall that goes up. There's a wedge between us immediately.
Yes. Absolutely.
And if I don't say thank you, and if I say, well, why'd you buy it this, why'd you pay so much for this, and why'd you get this
Hmm.
right now, that's going to cost me intimacy. When
Yeah.
I try and control him or get on his page, jump on his page, it'll
Hmm.
always cost me. I can feel it, I can see it happen. As soon as I
Hmm.
slip, it's just like, oh, there it is, there's the wedge, there's the gap between us, and now I got to repair it. Now I got to do the work to repair it, because I'm the one who caused it.
You're so right. For some reason I went into a few minutes ago. You asked me a question, or you just alluded to it. You don't know how control shows up for me when it comes to my wife and whatever, right? Everybody have different ways that control shows up.
Yeah.
Park here, turn left here. I remember my mother some time back. Make a left turn here, like almost immediately, right? Next thing you know, I end up getting a ticket, right? So her control cost me a few a few dollars, right? Control would be for me trying to tell her, what, you did have this appointment. Well, you said you're going to do this yesterday, but now it's like one day after, whatever the case is. So
Mhm.
I guess really thinking about the topic here about give up control, whether as a man or as a woman, is really to think about it. So what are you unconsciously doing where you're actually controlling your spouse or controlling your children, and
Yeah.
how can you step back and see yourself? What would that look like if you were the one that's being controlled, right? So it really challenged us to show up differently than we have before.
hmm And I think part of it is, for me, what's worked for me is to think of it in the morning and pray about it. Like, help me to
Right.
just close it, just to stop,
That's good.
to trust them, to trust God with them, to plant that seed for myself in the morning. Okay, today I am staying on my page. I'm excited about my
Mhm,
page and my
mhm.
page only. And a great way to know whether it's your page or not, because I'm just like,
Okay.
well, our pages are kind of connected or stuck together. So how do I know
Mhm.
it's his, or how do I know it's mine? And one way to do it is to decide that, okay, what's on his page affects him. But if stuff that affects both of us, like say Mike goes out and buys a new car, and we don't do it together.
Right.
I don't get some input into it. That
Mhm.
affects me, because now I'm driving a car that maybe is too high
Yeah.
for me or too big for me or whatever.
Mhm,
So,
mhm,
but if I go into my husband's garage and he says to me, "Hey, I got this shelving unit. I'm going to put it on this wall here. I'm going to do this, this, this," and I
mhm.
don't just zip it and go, "Excellent."
Right.
I say, "Well, why would you put it there? I would put it. You need to put it on this wall and organize all this stuff over there and move everything around in here." Now
Mm,
I've jumped on his page because I don't care about the garage. I don't
mm,
work in the garage. I don't hang out in the
mhm.
garage. I barely walk through the garage. He can have the garage any way he wants.
Right.
Would I prefer it be different than it is? Absolutely. But it's not on my page because it
Mm,
doesn't affect me. So when you ask yourself, does this affect my life in a big way?
right.
Then I can join in and add some conversation in. But if
Mm,
it doesn't, about my kids, about my husband,
mhm,
then it's not on my page. And
mm.
I get to enjoy my page instead, save my energy for that, and save
I
my
like,
marriage at the same time.
and I like what you said too. More than enough times here as we're having the conversation is uh, when I jump on the other person's page, it's going to affect intimacy. And
Yeah.
when we mention intimacy, yeah, we mentioned it could be behind closed doors sexually, but
hmm
creating acts of intimacy where maybe he doesn't want to hold your hand right now. You mentioned one time, you know what, because you had, I forget what you had done, but anyway, his very breath breathing behind you was was annoying. So whatever it was, he basically shut down the acts of intimacy that could have been
Yes,
created, right?
absolutely.
So we're basically run out of time here again. So we didn't wasn't sure if we're going to do a part two or part three. So there is a part three coming up, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for us on that. So Heather, again, I really thank you and appreciate you for tuning in for relationship repair coach for those that's out there. Her website is Heather Pietnik, which is spelled PIECHNIK.com. And you can always get a hold of her. She works with wives to repair the relationship so they can have an amazing life and amazing relationship.
Absolutely. It's my passion, lots of fun. And thanks, Leo, for having me on again. It's just been a lot of
Mhm.
fun. This is what we both enjoy doing. It's our passion to serve people this way, to serve couples, to keep families together. And it's fun to do it together. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And it's all about keeping the family together. And my
hmm
my line is reducing world divorce one
Yeah,
conversation at a time, one couple at a time. So it's helping
absolutely.
helping folks to create a beautiful, lasting love. And my website is www.tlcbonittogrange.com, and you can always connect with me if you want a complimentary session on whatever issue you might be going through, and the same with Heather also. So thank you again, and we'll see you for part 3 on creating acts of intimacy. Have a beautiful day, Heather. Bless you.